Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. The F&M Schaefer Brewing Company raises a glass of ice-cold Schaefer in your honor, and Lucky Strike's blowing smoke rings at you from the studios of Comfortably Zoned Radio. And it's time once again for Dodgers baseball, a tale of two cities from Brooklyn to Los Angeles. I'm your host, Peter Trunk, and my co-host is Ron Rabinovitz. Ron, how are you?
I'm great, Peter. I'm great. I'm having a
Tell
great
us where
time.
you're.
I'm out in LA.
Tell us where you're talking from.
I'm in Los Angeles, California. I got in the city, and I'm in Dodgerland. I mean, everywhere. It's Dodgers, Dodgers, Dodgers. It's wonderful. I think I died and went to heaven.
I gotta ask you, how did this all come about?
Well, Saturday night I was sitting in my living room watching the Astros game, Astros and Yankees. And about 8 o'clock at night, or 8:30, my phone rings. And it's a friend of mine who used to live in L.A., who now lives in Minneapolis. And he says, I haven't talked to you for a while. And he says, by the way, he says, are you interested in going to the World Series? And I said, I love it, but I can't afford those tickets. I mean, they're $25,000, $30,000, $3,000. I mean, it's crazy. But he says, I have a connection from MLB, and I have 2 tickets that are face value. They're not allowed to scalp them. And you and your son can have them if you want them. I said, well, how much are they? He says, $210. I about fell off the chair. I said, take them. Then, about midnight, I'm running around Drain trying to find a flight, at the last minute. Oh, my God, it was crazy. I had to spend 63,000 miles to get out here. But it's worth it.
Now, how did you even book a room? How did you know what hotel you wanted to stay in?
My son and his family were out here for about a week. And they were going to stay, and his wife had to go back on Sunday because she works. And he was going to come back with the kids on Monday. And then all of a sudden, all this happened with those tickets. And then he finagled a way to get the kids to go with their mother home on Sunday. And he just stayed here. We're staying at the Langer, which is in Pasadena.
Okay.
The Langham, which is in Pasadena. And it's an older hotel, but beautiful, just gorgeous. And the Houston Astros are here.
So where are your tickets exactly? Do you know?
Yeah, I can tell you. I'll tell you 1 second. I'm just going to look it up here. Got it right here. I'm holding them. I couldn't believe it. World Series tickets. Let's see. They are reserve level, section 19RS, row T, seat 11 and 12. So, I think
it sounds good to me wherever it is.
Yeah.
you know, Ronnie, you could look that up online, and it will show you exactly where you're sitting. Not only show you exactly where you're sitting, it will be like you're sitting in your seat looking out at the field. It will show you the view that you will have.
Between third base and home plate.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful.
Unbelievable. Isn't that great?
That is wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, we have a great show lined up tonight. We have 2 big Dodger fans and 2 big fans of the show. They've been on the show a few times, more than a few times. We have Mark Gent and Bernie Rose. Mark, how are you?
I'm great, gentlemen. How are you guys doing? Who wouldn't be great? It's Dodger time.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right.
And Bernie, how you doing?
Just fine. Everything is blue.
Yeah, I can tell that you're talking with a smile on your face, Bernie. That's very good. I love it.
And I got news for you. It is blue here. There isn't a cloud in the sky, but it's 102 degrees. It is
hot.
Oh my God, it's so hell. And tomorrow's supposed to be the same.
Yeah, well.
Wow.
My son and I went out to the pool to have lunch in the shade. After lunch, I had to come back in. It was so hot, just unbelievable. But it's very beautiful.
Well, they say it's going to be 98 degrees game time tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's hot.
It'll be hot. Yeah.
That is
It'll
hot.
be, and it's like a sweltering hot. I mean, it's just, you just can't get away from it. You know what I mean?
Gee.
It's just unbelievable.
Tough to think fall classic.
Yeah, really.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, right?
Exactly.
But
Ronnie,
who cares? I'm going to be here.
Ronnie, 45 years ago tomorrow, I want you to talk a little bit about that before we officially begin the show.
Sure. Well, tomorrow, it's kind of a bittersweet day for me, being that it's the World Series. I'm here, and it's the 45th anniversary of Jackie Robinson's death, which was on October 24th, 1972. It was probably one of the saddest days of my whole life, other than when my parents passed away. And so it's a bittersweet time for me, but I couldn't think of a better place to be to remember Jackie. And I actually feel him and my dad smiling down on us. Rachel Robinson and Sharon Robinson are going to be here. So they're coming in tonight. I've been in touch with Sharon, and they're booked pretty solid, so I don't know if I'm going to see them, but I'm sure that they're involved in the festivities, opening day, opening game festivities tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
Tell me they're going to throw out the first ball.
And I would guess that they'll be honoring or mentioning Jackie on the 45th anniversary. So
there's no doubt.
It should be very exciting.
There's no doubt.
Normally, when I come out here, I go on the field for batting practice, meet the people and everything. This year, there's no chance. It's such high security. And I'm told that they have, there's so many nuts around. And especially with the thing that went on in Las Vegas. I mean, they got snipers everywhere. They're watching this place. So it's very, so there's no chance to get there. But I don't care. Just being here will be great.
Sure it will. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Take a lot of pictures, my friend. Take a lot of pictures.
I sure will. I remember this day 45 years ago, and I was getting ready for work, and a bulletin came on the TV, and it said that Jackie had died. He had ran into the kitchen where his wife was. He was naked, and he ran into the kitchen, and he said, "I love you," and kissed her and fell down on the floor and died immediately. It was so sad. Theirs was a true love affair. Tremendous partnership, the two of them. It was wonderful. So, pretty sad.
Wow.
But
yeah.
I got, at least they're honoring him so many ways. And they've done so much with the 42 and, retiring his number. And it's so gratifying to me to see all the things that have happened. It's just wonderful. Because, as they say, Babe Ruth changed baseball. Jackie Robinson changed America. And he did it alone.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he
Yes,
did.
he did.
Yeah.
I actually want to take deference to that and say he did it along with her.
Right, exactly. I'm going to Washington, D.C. next month. There's a Jackie Robinson Society at George Washington University. And they have changed the name now to Jackie and Rachel Robinson Society because of the influence and what she's done. And what she's done over those years. She's a tremendous woman. She has done so much for this country, for youth, this foundation that she founded the year after he died. It's called the Jackie Robinson Foundation. It's a scholarship program for children of color and minorities to go to college. They have the greatest graduation rate of any scholarship program in the United States, 98%, which is way double the national average. And it's a full boat scholarship, but you have to pay it forward. You have to work community service. You can't just, it's a great organization.
Sounds great. That's very good. We're going to switch gears now. We're going to go over to Mark Gent, and I want Mark to tell everyone what he's been up to. He's been a very busy young man. I'm going to tell you. Tell us where you've driven and what you've done and all the things that you've been doing this past month.
Well, I don't know about this past month, but I've been to Dodger games down in Philadelphia. I've been to Dodger games in D.C., obviously the ones that were in New York and Citi Field. But how do I follow Ronnie with that, with the whole Jackie story? I mean, no one cares about what I have to say after that. I mean, that's just that. I mean, I sit here on my seat just kind of like riveted and listening to it. I mean, when I went up to Cooperstown for induction weekend this year, and I've gone the last 2 years in a row for induction weekend. I went because of Mike Piazza the year before, but this year I went, and I guess it's now a tradition, but I went when I found out that Mrs. Robinson was going to be receiving the award on Saturday, and I said, you know what, I've got to go there. And then I went there, I watched it, and it was great. She gave a great speech. It was quick, it was to the point, it was very funny, and all I kept thinking to myself is, why isn't she enshrined as well in the Hall of Fame? Because that plaque that Jackie has, you know, he doesn't have that plaque if he doesn't have her in his corner. Because let's face it, that was a great duo, right, Ronnie?
Absolutely, a tremendous duo. It really was. Matter of fact, the first year she traveled with the team. Fran Tricky wanted her to travel with the team because she was the only anchor he had. It was terrific.
And what people don't realize is that while she was traveling with the team and sitting in those stands, the garbage that she was hearing.
Right, the cat calls. And watching her husband get beamed and spiked and throwing black cats on the field. It's terrible.
I don't think we can imagine it, really. I mean, even when we talk about it, it's like it's so long ago, and we've come so far from that point that it's almost hard to imagine just how that was commonplace. I mean, it wasn't even looked upon as like if you did that in front of your children, like you would be even embarrassed to do that.
Right.
I mean, we have racists in this country today. We know we do. You're never going to ever get rid of it. I mean, you can try as hard as you can to educate people and make people understand that people are people. But even the racists of today would be embarrassed to do it in front of their kids and out in public, and they would do it in the closet, so to speak. But back then, it was like commonplace. You go to a place like Cincinnati or St. Louis, and even Philadelphia, which is an East Coast city, and we all know about the Chapman incident, and people thought that was just normal. Like that was just like acceptable behavior, which is bizarre.
Yeah, right.
It is bizarre.
Well, did you see in the movie 42? You saw how it was depicted, where the father started calling racial slurs, and
the kid
started. Yeah, I mean it's a perfect example. It's terrible.
I'll go back to my childhood. I remember having a fight with a kid in school, a black kid, and I came home and I was so angry, and I'll admit it, I said the N-word. I did. And my mother, oh my God, I can't even tell you what my mother, that's the first time I said it and the last time I said it. I got the lecture and I couldn't sit for a while for my life. And that's because as a parent, you have to reinforce what's not right. Kids make mistakes.
Exactly.
But good parenting doesn't allow it to go unpunished and not a learning lesson involved in it. And when I saw that parent in that movie doing that, I was like, how could you pass that forward to your child?
Right, exactly.
Let it die with you.
Yeah. Well, you're very fortunate you had good parents, as I did. And I lived in a city.
That's the gospel, Ron.
That's right. I lived in a city that was lily white. There were no African Americans in Sheboygan.
I grew up in Brooklyn, so I could tell you that my city wasn't.
Yeah.
we had the melting pot, and we were better for it.
That's right. It was. You're right. It was, and you are better for it. No question about it. But I mean, entertainers would come to Sheboygan, and they could entertain, but then they had to move on to Milwaukee. They couldn't stay overnight. So it was pretty sad.
But I mean, just to see, you know, if you put that in that context and what he went through, and then you look at it in the context of where we are today, it's like I know people want change to be quicker, and I get that because you know what? Nobody wants to sit and see anything that's bad. I mean, if you do, then there's something wrong with you as a human being. But when you put it in the context of 1947 and fast forward 70 years from now, anything that was acceptable in that movie today would never be acceptable in today's world, from that day in today's world. And that's something we should be proud of as people.
I'm not so sure.
Well, there's been a lot of change over the years, but it's a long, long way to go, gentlemen.
You know, with the new administration, a lot of these people that were in the bushes have come out.
I want them out. Ronnie, I want them out so we can identify who they are and not let them hide in the closet anymore.
Right.
Let them do that, because you know what? I can guarantee you their employers are not going to let them stick in their jobs if they go out and do stuff like that.
Yeah, it depends where you live, and you know, some places they're gonna, you know, they might applaud it. You know, you never know. It's sad.
I cannot fathom anyone applauding any crap. Can I say the word crap?
Sure.
Any crap like that, to be
Just
quite
don't
honest.
say shit. Just say crap. Don't say shit.
I won't say the S word. Guys, remember, I'm a youth softball coach. I've purged all vulgarity from my from my vocabulary, because I never want to slip up in front of the kids.
Perfect.
So was George Carlin.
The 7 words.
Yeah, right.
I think it's now
George
down
Carlin.
to 3.
Yeah,
I think George Carlin's 7 words are now down to 3.
You can prick your finger, but you cannot finger your prick.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you can, but you just can't talk about it.
Right. Oh, you guys are funny.
I'm telling you guys, I'm really pumped up. I mean, it's been 29 years, man. 29 years. I think back.
Years.
Yeah, I think back to 1988 and how different my life is today. Back from that, like all my kids were born after that. And so I just think about like everything about it, and it's like I've been waiting for this World Series for so long. I feel like we've all been really dedicated for a long period of time.
Yes, we have. That's right. And
I'm confident and I'm excited, and that doesn't sound like a Dodger fan in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Well, those 29 years have put a big dent in confidence.
Yeah,
because they have been in many playoff situations.
Yep.
But now that they're back, I think they've got a great shot at this.
They're on a mission, I think. I hope.
I'll tell you guys, I think of one thing that they have a big advantage of: bullpen.
Yeah.
Houston has no confidence in their bullpen to the point where they had one of their starters finish out the game and wouldn't even go to their closer.
Yeah. That's right. I read an article today where they were comparing our position players to theirs, and it was pretty interesting. Catchers were pretty much even. First base was definitely an edge to the Dodgers. Second base was definitely an edge to the Astros. Shortstop was definitely edge to the Astros. Third base was definitely an edge to the Dodgers. And then left field and center field were Astros. Right field was Dodgers. Pitching staff, it was almost even, but a little favored to Dodgers. And bullpen, by the way, was absolutely, and bench was Dodgers. So
that is correct.
I agree with every one of those things.
That is correct.
I agree with every one of those things except for one.
Yeah.
Shortstop. Was shortstop taken into consideration that Corey Seager's back is bothering him?
Yeah, well, it was. That's why there was a big favor to the Astros.
Because
they don't even know that Seager's going to play.
I think with Corey healthy, straight up, that's a pick-em position.
I think you're right. Now, Turner's got a bad problem, too. He hasn't played the last couple of days. He has been out of workouts. They've kept him out of workouts.
What's the matter with him?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a back problem or something. You know, he got pretty beat up in that playoff.
Well, he had fracture surgery on his knee last winter, didn't he?
Right. But I mean, he got pretty beat up in that, in that last series. And so they have Culbertson actually was working out at third base the last few days. So
before I
hope he'll be okay.
If they don't have him, that is huge.
Before I turn this over to Bernie Rose for his professional opinions on the upcoming World Series, I want to say that I read today, or was it yesterday, doesn't really matter, maybe late last night, they've done a computer World Series. They put it into a computer. The Dodgers win in 7 games. But listen to this. You're not going to believe this. This is what the computer said. The Dodgers lose the first game at Dodger Stadium. Their bullpen implodes, and Houston rocks them. Okay,
well, how does the computer come up with that?
1-0 Houston. Second game, what's his face? My man Kershaw gets rocked. Second game, the Dodgers come back. The Dodgers come back and win in a comeback and tie the series, and it goes to Houston. Houston wins the third game. Houston wins the fourth game. Houston wins the fifth game. Houston's up 3-1. Okay, 3-1. Houston is up according to the.
Sounds like that computer's is on.
LA wins the fifth game. They're losing the sixth game. They win the sixth game in a crazy ass game, and they're losing the entire way in the seventh game, and then they rally at the end, and Puig hits a Joe Carter walk-off World Series home run.
Wouldn't that be something?
And the Dodgers win. And the Dodgers win in 7 games. That's what the computer said. Now,
well, if that happens,
be that as it may.
How far out do you think he could stick his tongue if he does that?
Well, I'll tell you what. If that happens,
further than Gene Simmons.
If that happens, right? If that happens, what I just said, what the computer said, predicted, I'll be dead of a heart attack before.
I knew you would.
I'll never live through that. I will never live.
7 games.
I will never live through that. Kershaw getting rocked in the first game. Forget about it. I can't live through it. And they're down 3-1. It's not gonna work for my heart. So hopefully the computer is wrong. But let's go to another type of computer. Let's go to a professional baseball man, Bernie Rose. Bernie's going to tell us what he thinks about the upcoming World Series. Bernie, it's all yours.
Well, thanks, guys. Well, we kind of went over a bunch of that real fast right in there.
That's all right. Sorry we stole your thunder.
Yeah, let's start with that bullpen. They've given up 3 earned runs in the playoffs for a 0.94 ERA, okay? And they had 23 straight scoreless innings. I don't know, it might still be going on for all I know. I didn't even look that up. Their strikeout to walk ratio is 32-2. They have been magnificent. And
lights out, absolutely.
Yeah, and you've seen it. And a couple of things happened this year. Let's just briefly talk about a couple of names that really we're not here without Brandon Morrow and Chris Taylor. I mean, a lot of other things were expected. I expected big things out of Turner, and it's too bad he couldn't hang in and lead the league. But if he played in Colorado, he probably would have. But I'm glad he's not. And we expected big things from a lot of people, but there was something, and of course, Mr. Cody Bellinger. Mm-hmm. Without those 3 guys, none of this is happening.
Nope.
Right.
And,
exactly.
And I hate to say it, but if Agon doesn't get injured, we don't see Cody.
Think about that. Yeah, that's all part of it.
But I called that early in the season. I said that Cody will be coming up and he'll stick. And he did.
And I told Ronnie when he said that, I said the only way that happens is if Adrian Gonzalez goes down with an injury, because they're not going to pay him $25 million a year to sit on the bench and watch Cody Bellinger play first base.
Yeah. Well, that's true, too.
Lo and behold, that's what happened. Agon got injured. By the way, I failed to mention, and it's pretty big, I failed to mention that the stuff that they fed into that computer, the computer that predicted the Dodgers in 7 after being down 3-1, what they fed into the computer was that Corey Seager does not play. He merely pinch hits and is the DH on the road. He does not play at Dodger Stadium.
That could happen. That's
the info.
Well,
I just wanted you to know that that's the info they fed into the computer. That he wasn't ready to play the field, so he was DH and pinch hit. Go ahead, Bernie. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
So that's okay. So anyway, real fast. So the Dodgers relief pitchers pitched 28 2/3 innings and allowed 3 runs for that 0.94. And I told you about the strike to walk ratio, and Morrow. The way Maeda's been pitching in the bullpen, I'm not sure he should ever start again. He's been phenomenal.
That's right.
I think that's the key too, because Maeda, every time he gets to like the second or third time in the lineup as a starter, they start to hit him, but the first time through, he's almost invincible.
And when you do that with the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, it's shut down.
Yeah,
and
that's right. He found
the Astros' pen has not been that great, and underperformed in the postseason to a 5.03 ERA in 34 innings. Right then and there, if that continues, it's over.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, more or less. I mean, you got to get to the starting pitching, which we'll get to. Even if you put Kershaw and Darvish with, Keuchel and Verlander, even if you put that even, which, it's close to it, then you've got Hill and you've got
Wood,
right, as much better than their other 2 relievers. So, again, it's an advantage to the Dodgers. Let's go over a couple of quick things. Just a couple of notes. It's the first time in 47 years that 2 100-team wins are in the World Series. Did you know that?
Since 1970, since the Reds and the Orioles.
That is correct. You've done your homework.
And that was actually 2 years in a row, because the year before, the Mets and the Orioles were both 100-win teams as well.
Yes, okay. But as it stands, it's been that many years. The World Series has not featured an MVP or a Cy Young winner since 2012, when they had both MVP candidates, Posey and Cabrera, both won the MVP. They haven't had a Rookie of the Year in the World Series since 2010, and I think we're going to have one in Cody Bellinger. So it just adds some more intrigue and some more very interesting info into this World Series.
It does.
Catching, the Dodger catchers have thrown out slightly over 29% of base runners. Houston is an AL low of 12%. Plus, our catchers out-hit Houston, so that's a nice edge right there.
Remember a month ago, Bernie? I said I had a dream, and in the dream, the Dodgers were stealing base after base after base in the World Series?
Yes.
I remember.
I had a dream where they were stealing bases all over the place, and now you come up with that statistic. That's an amazing stat.
Isn't
Unbelievable.
it? Think about that. And that could be, and the Dodgers will run. There's no question.
Yeah. Oh, surely.
We have, a situation with Josh Reddick coming back to town.
Yeah.
He's all upset. He's all upset.
He's a fan.
Oh.
Yeah, but you know what he hit in the series against the Yankees?
I think he got one lousy hit.
That is correct. I think he hit about 0.50.
He was 0 for 22 at one point, I think.
Yeah. He had a halfway decent season. He's upset that he got booed. He was so bad in L.A. last year. And I will give him this. He picked it up a little bit at the end of September and did hit somewhat better in the playoffs. But he was so bad, I don't know what he's complaining about.
He had a decent regular season this summer with Houston. He hit 300.
He did.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But he's letting the team down right now, and as far as I'm concerned, I hope he continues.
I don't understand. I don't understand how baseball players, even if they're young, relatively young, I don't understand how baseball players can actually badmouth fans and think it's not going to come back and bite them in the ass.
Right, exactly.
Well, how do they think they're going to get away with bad-mouthing fans?
It's easy to figure out because they're so insulated.
And when he comes up and gets 2 strikes on him, how loud do you think it's going to be in there?
Oh,
I mean, it's going to be unbelievable.
How about when a fly ball comes out to right field in Dodger Stadium?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look,
So
he doesn't get hit.
How about Yasiel Puig in these playoffs so far?
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Unbelievable. He's
almost matching Turner stride for stride. I mean,
yeah.
He had his
How about
breakout
Kiki?
season.
How about Kiki, what he did? Oh, my
Well, Kiki, forget about that last game. I mean, that was
God,
unreal.
He was unbelievable. I never seen anything like that.
The thing that amazes me about Puig is that he's actually taking pitches and working the count.
Yes, he is.
Oh, yeah.
He's laying off the very bad low outside sweeping sliders.
And the problem for the pitchers, the problem is the pitchers don't know what to do with him now because that's how they used to get him out.
Right, exactly.
Turner Ward got through to him, and that's why
Turner Ward's going to need to get a restraining order against him.
He goes and kisses him all the time. It's a home run. He goes right in the dugout and kisses him.
Just my thoughts a little bit on the starting pitching that I'd like to hear you guys chime in on, because the Dodgers are so good at laying off these pitches, and Verlander and Keuchel are going to throw a lot of balls falling out of the zone. They're going to lay off these pitches. They've been doing it for 2 straight series, and these guys might be better than the other teams had. I will grant you that. But if they still work the count and these guys got to come in, they are going to hit these guys. Thoughts, gentlemen.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They're not.
Go ahead, Mark.
Swinging. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I agree with you 100% on that because those guys were getting a lot of outs with balls out of the strike zone, but they were throwing to young, aggressive hitters. And the Dodgers actually have young, patient hitters, which is kind of a contradiction in terms, but they really do. And I mean, Cody has found his stride again. He had a little bit of a slump in the LDS, but by the LCS he got his mojo back. And Puig with the Svengali named Turner, he's locked and loaded. I think that if the Dodgers can get the pitch counts high on the Astros starters and they have to go to the Astros bullpen, it's game over because their bullpen is terrible. They don't trust it.
Right.
No, this is where it could be won quickly.
Right.
That's what I think. That's why I say 5.
Boy,
I think it goes 1-2 Dodgers and 4-5 Dodgers. I think the Astros win an emotional game 3, and that's it.
Wow. I hope you're right.
Well, I can't disagree with that. I was saying 5 or 6. I could never make up my mind. Houston does have a good team. They can hit. And as far as Peter, to the computer, what they're probably getting into is Kershaw still giving up a lot of home runs, even though I think he's still going to win the Cy Young Award, even missing 6.5 weeks. Because he still led the league in ERA and tied for the league in wins. He would have won 27 games this year if he didn't get hurt.
Yes, he would have.
I mean,
yes, he would have.
He might have had his best year ever. The question is he 100% healthy? So if they lose game 1, I still think they could be all right. But if they win game 1, look out. It's very exciting.
Boy, and Darvish has been really good, too, the last couple times.
Darvish has been fantastic
he's
for the
been
last
great.
4 weeks.
Lights out. Yes.
Well, he threw 5 shutout innings in the last game.
Yeah, it was fabulous. Yeah.
His earned run average since beginning of September, is under 1. I mean, it's phenomenal.
It's unbelievable. It is.
Hey, Peter, we saw him in Philadelphia.
Yes. Oh, nice.
Yeah, right. That's
so
right.
the main guy they really needed, if they keep Altuve off base, that's your biggest mismatch. I mean, at second base, I mean, if you put Forsythe against Altuve, you might as well put nobody out there. But Altuve is a tremendous player, and he'll get his hits, I would imagine.
Sure he will.
But
no question about
I'm looking at everything else, and I'm not seeing a lot of edge there for Houston. I could see maybe you want to call it even. I just want to say one thing, and I'll open it up again to you guys. They've been doing it all year. You hit it on the head, Mark. Taylor and Bellinger and Seager, it's his second year. Their patience at the plate, they've been doing it all year. And that's why Taylor has over 20 home runs. He never did that before.
You know what, guys? My mother, may she rest in peace, would say they're Alta Cups.
Yeah, that's right.
Old heads.
Yeah.
There you go. And,
that's great.
And they have worked it in their favor. And he has redone his swing like Turner did. He's got a powerful swing now. And when you look at this, Taylor in center field, I don't see a big edge there for the Astros, even though a lot of these things that you read online give him the edge. I would call it even.
Yeah.
Especially if he's out there all 7 games and Corey Seager can play, which would be great.
But even if Corey does, let's say if Corey doesn't play and they go with that scenario where he DHs in Houston and he pinch hits in LA, if Taylor's playing shortstop, I don't see how that's a decisive advantage to Houston. I mean, you look at Taylor's numbers. I mean, are they just underestimating him when they look at things like that?
Right.
Because I've seen this guy all year long. Matter of fact, I saw him in spring training in Glendale, and I said, how did we steal this guy? Was the first thing I said to my cousin. I said, because this kid looks polished. I mean, I don't think of him as a utility player.
Right.
Well, he's not anymore.
He certainly is.
He's something.
If he is, he's the best on utility player I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's terrific. Right.
What you're going to have next year is you're going to have Taylor in center, Puig in right, and Tolles in left. That's your outfield.
Tolles, that's right.
Everybody
forgot to talk about next year.
Nobody said a word about Tolles.
Please.
He's the forgotten man.
Let's talk about next year.
Yeah. All right. So let's get back to
Dodger fans. Words next year are not to be mentioned.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
You're right. So the Dodgers do have an edge in the bench, but I tell you what, Granderson, I'd be happy if they left him off the freaking roster. He's got nothing left. Any thoughts there?
You're right, but the problem is you just love the guy as a guy, and it's like you can't not root for this guy to be successful, not only because he wears your colors, but because he's just such a mensch. And the problem is that you're right. It's like he doesn't have what he had 2 or 3 years ago. No. And it's either he's going to hit a home run or he's going to strike out 8 times or 9 times before it. And he doesn't have a lot of range out in the outfield either. I would agree with you. If Seager can't play, you got to put Seager on the roster as your pinch hitter DH, and Grandy has to, be a cheerleader.
Yeah, because somebody's going to have to come off, and Culberson can't come off.
No, he can't.
Culberson's too valuable.
And how about how he hit in this series? He was great.
Unbelievable.
That's why we didn't miss Corey, unfortunately. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately for Corey, we didn't really miss him because Culberson was great.
He really stepped up to the plate. He was unbelievable.
I'm telling you, Ronnie, remember what I said to you? I said, I texted you, I said it's like July all over again in October.
That's right.
We look just like the July team, which is unstoppable.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way it looks right now, and I'm loving it. Peter, you remember how many yeah, go ahead.
My God. The way we crushed Chicago, I mean, who would have thought? Unbelievable.
Remember how many times I said, Peter, I wish he would play Barnes more?
Yeah.
Love Barnes.
And then, lo and behold, he starts right away. After the first game of the first series, it's Barnes. Because Grandal was just in nowhere's land. And we recognize that. And Barnes has been so good all year. And I also said, I just wish he'd start playing Ethier. He's ready. And he puts him in, and what does he do? He hits one off the scoreboard.
That's right.
And, he's got to play. He's got to start against the righties. He has to.
Yes, he does. In
left field.
Absolutely.
And if Seager's healthy, then he's the DH in the American League Park.
And that's a hell of a lineup, if you ask me.
That's a hell of a lineup.
That's a crazy lineup.
The way it is right now, I'm thinking real positive.
You know one thing we didn't talk about when we did the comparisons? Manager. I really feel the Dodgers have a huge advantage with Doc as a manager. I mean, honestly, if you guys remember, I was the first one last year who said, don't hire this guy. He's too inexperienced. I want Dusty Baker. He's got Dodger history. He's the right man for the job. Boy, was I dead wrong. This guy is phenomenal.
He is phenomenal. He is.
If he didn't prove it last year, he certainly did this year.
And the players love to play for him.
This is true.
He could win Manager of the Year again. He really could.
Absolutely, he should.
He should, but unfortunately, I don't think he will because they'll say, well, he had all this talent, he should have won.
Right. But you know what?
Maybe so.
This team plays as a team. There's not any superstar that they play as a team. It's the chemistry is so good.
But that's how Doc played when he was a player. He was a contributor. Right. He wasn't a superstar.
And he instilled that. He
instilled that philosophy into these guys, and they ran with it.
They've all bought into it.
And the coaching staff is phenomenal. Look how they straightened out Darvish, Honeycutt. That's why he's been there. How long has he been there?
He survived like 3 or 4 managers, right?
He goes back to Lasorda, I think. I mean,
I was going to say either Lasorda or Bill Russell.
Yeah, I mean.
He might have been there with Bill Russell too. That's right. I don't know.
And Darvish had his problems after the first start with the Dodgers. He pitched well. Then and they redid
the first couple of starts, Bernie.
Well, they redid his motion. He's phenomenal now.
Well, he did 2 things with Darvish. One, the problem with Darvish is he throws so many darn pitches that at any time any of those release points can come unraveled. But he also let him understand that, dude, you throw 96, 97. There's times where you can just actually rely on your fastball, and you don't have to play around with any of the chicanery. You can blow a guy away.
Right.
And that's what he did against the Cubs, and they weren't expecting it.
Exactly.
Well, the Cubs were not up to snuff this year. Their players and their pitchers did not perform like they did last year, and they were just overwhelmed against Dodgers.
They were happy to win 1 game.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean,
I really didn't get the dancing in the bullpen by their pitchers off of 1 home run when they're down 3 games to nothing. I said, you guys are going to be gone in a few hours, and you're dancing. So they won that game, and then they got a home run in the next game, and they're dancing again. They end up losing 11-1.
Yeah, that was a fun game.
They danced all the way to the golf course.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, didn't you think that was ridiculous?
Just like when a guy hits a home run down by 10 runs and celebrates, that's ridiculous too. But I think the modern ball player is very insulated. Like you were talking about, like, how does a guy say something about the fans and not care about it? Because these guys are insulated. They're not like the old, I mean, I hate to say, start sounding like an old guy or something, but it's not like when the Dodgers were in Brooklyn and they lived in the community and they knew the people. You wouldn't dare say anything negative about those people because they were hardworking people and they were spending their money to watch you play, and you lived amongst them. These guys don't live amongst the people.
Well,
they have a lot of money. They have too much money, too.
Right. Duke Snyder did once back in Brooklyn, and he paid the price for it.
He did pay the price for it. And he even said years later it was one of the dumbest things he ever did.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep, exactly. So I have to leave.
We got to get Ronnie to dinner.
Yeah,
Ronnie's got to go to dinner.
He's got to go to dinner.
Right.
So what's your prediction, Ron?
Yeah, let's have your prediction before you go.
6 games.
Okay.
Dodgers win. That's
my
prediction.
Bernie, what's yours?
Tongue in cheek.
I'm going to go 6.
Okay. Mark, you say 5?
I'm on the record with 5, and I'm sticking to it, and it's only because I don't want to be arrogant and say sweep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And you, Peter?
You know what? I hope to hell it's 4 because my heart isn't going to be able to take too many games. I really hope to hell it's 4, but I doubt it'll be 4.
Do I second
I'm looking for them to win, though. I really am. I'm very confident. Normally,
I'm right there with you.
Normally, I'm not that confident. I'm very confident now. I'm confident that they can win, and the reason I'm confident they can win is because the way they grind out the at bats.
Exactly.
And of course their bullpen. That goes without saying. Their bullpen is superb.
They hit home runs, but they don't rely on them.
They just keep grinding out those at bats, grinding out.
That's right.
Pretty soon, the other guy's got like 78 pitches, and it's the 3rd inning.
Exactly.
I love
You know what, guys? They hit home runs, and they do hit a lot of them, but they don't rely on them to win. They can win with small ball, too.
Yeah.
And that's how you win win 104 games, because you can beat anyone any which way they want to be beaten.
Absolutely.
Guys, feel bad for me on Wednesday. Just feel bad for me on Wednesday. I won't be able to watch the game
Ron,
until
take care. Enjoy it.
Take care. Thank you, guys.
Hi, Ronnie.
Take care. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, Ron, have a good dinner.
All right.
Feed that man.
Yeah.
He's a lucky man.
He is a lucky man. He's out there. He's got the tickets. He's ready to rock and roll. That's great.
I went on record and said I'm completely jealous of him, and if it makes me a bad human being, I'm going to say I'm jealous.
Yeah, well, we're all jealous of that.
Absolutely. There's nothing
we have to cop to that. We all have to cop to that. Any one of us would love to be out there with him.
If I said I wasn't, I'd be completely disingenuous.
Right, exactly. Well, we're here, folks. I mean, we talked about this from April, March.
We did.
We talked about this all season long, and now we're here. We're at the front door. We're ready to knock on the door. We're ready to start. I know that's a horrible, I'm not exactly Shakespeare or anything, but, we're here, and we're ready to play. And tomorrow night, we see what happens. Hopefully, Clayton Kershaw will be able to show the world that he is, in fact, the greatest pitcher in baseball today. And we'll just have to see what happens. And good luck to the Dodgers. I want to thank
one quick question before we do that. Quick question, logistic-wise, what jerseys are we wearing? Who's wearing what? I just need to know.
Since Kershaw is pitching, I'm going to wear my 22 tomorrow. I'm wearing my 22 tomorrow.
I bought a brand new T-shirt like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I got it for my birthday, and I kept the tags on it, waiting to break it out for this game.
Right. There you
go. Excellent.
Game 2, I'm going Duke Snyder.
Okay.
All right.
Let's win the first one first. Let's win the first one first, and then we'll talk about what we're wearing in the second game.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? One game at a time. And tomorrow is a biggie, believe me. It's a biggie.
Oh, that's going to be great.
It's a biggie.
And it's been a long time coming. I'll just say, before we sign off, the year I moved to Florida, I'm down in Florida, was 1988. And they won the World Series. So I never would have thought in my wildest dreams I'd be sitting here in 2017, and they hadn't been back yet until now.
Oh, my God.
Never I lived in Brooklyn back then.
There you go. But so on that note, I'd like to see an L.A. victory. I think it's coming because I can't take it. If it goes another 29 years, I won't be here.
It's true.
But this is a solid young team. It's not going to be 29 years. But I'm not worried about it. I think the reason I gave them 2 wins is because I got to figure maybe Verlander and Keuchel might get 1 each, but I think they could also be had in 1 each, or the bullpen saves a game in a close game and they win. That's why I said I'd love to say 5, but I figure Houston's a good enough team, so I'll stick to L.A. in 6. I like what I see.
I only think that those guys can get a win if they can go the distance. If they have to hand it off to that pen, it's not going to work out for them.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Absolutely.
I agree with that. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. They have a 5.03 ERA, their bullpen in the postseason.
I might have to change to 5. Okay, guys.
Listen, you guys.
Thanks
I want to thank both of you for taking the time to come on here with me and Ronnie, and we really appreciate your time and your effort and your thoughts and everything. Thanks for making it a good show. Enjoy the Dodger victory tomorrow. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say it that way. Enjoy, just hoist a cold one in the honor of Sandy Koufax, because I think Kershaw, he's got it in him. The kid's got it in him. He's going to show the world tomorrow. He's got to show the world. Here I am. I'm the best. Watch me. And I'm all pumped up for it. I really am.
It's the only thing missing on the resume.
I'm pumped.
Let's do
yes.
it.
So
That's it. That's right about the resume. 100%
2 words.
correct.
Think blue.
Think blue. Gentlemen,
Go blue.
I thank you once
right.
again. Each of you have a good night. Have a great World Series. I'll talk to you online.
Okay, you too, guys.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right.
Take care.